There we go. We're live. We're good. Okay, so welcome back. We're gonna play some Dragonlance tonight. We've changed up. I changed up our screen a bit. There is no map on our screen right now. It's just all our beautiful faces plastered across, and it does have a very Brady Bunch appearance, as Viking was talking about before we came on. So last week we crossed the plains and we came to the town of Kukiri, and Kukiri was in bad shape. And then from Kukiri, went up into the mountains to cross over into Solus and encountered a small band of trolls. The party defeated the trolls and found their cave to rest in. Between sessions, we've dealt with what was found, the treasure that was found in the troll cave. There was some steel pieces. There was a couple magic items like some magical throwing daggers. There was some magical gauntlets, and there was the wand of magic missiles. So just before you took your rest in that troll cave, you spotted two red dragons with riders sort of come up over the mountains and glide down into the valley where Solus is located. Anything? So you guys have rested. Everybody that was wounded should have got their 1 hit point back. Anybody with spells can rememorize and choose what spells they want for today. Anything that anybody wants to do before you start to approach closer to Solus? We are short of Benedict tonight, which might actually work out for the better.
I just remind Steve about the fire-resistant potion.
Okay.
Don't forget.
Plush has not forgotten, but Steve probably did.
That's why I said it.
I can also help with fire resistance if need be.
Cool.
Don't we have? Isn't our Grenlead unconscious or like really badly foobarred? We have to get her up.
At the very least, Grenlead would be conscious now, right? Because we would have gotten 1 hit point back from the rest that was taken. So, unless she was really far in the negatives, I guess. Was she in the negatives?
I left us at -2.
So then you gained 1 to -1, or you gained 1 to -2?
I will have gained 1 to -1.
Okay. So a little healing's required for poor Grenlead.
A little bit.
Medic! We need a medic!
It's a D8, right, Jeremy?
For Cure Light Wounds, yeah, D8.
I mean, we've established that Steve can carry her and that she counts as a projectile weapon. So
Did we?
Grenlead 6 back.
I think we did confirm that, right? Okay, so Grenlead, you're a little worse for wear, but you're conscious.
Hey, thank you.
Can we just sort of get how is the party doing for hit points? Is anyone below half other than Grenlead? Nobody else is below. Steve is below half hit points. Okay, so Steve's a little banged up.
I think I'm a little foobar. Hang on.
I think Benedict took a fair beating too.
Yeah.
Yes, his mustaches were a mess.
Yes.
Great.
I'm a
Little cinch.
little bit over half.
A little bit over half? Okay. Okay. Well, any other healing being done? Or are we going as is?
Heal Grenlead for 6.
You heal Grenlead for 6, okay.
Yeah, and then Steve, do you want some?
No, give another one to your sibling.
Okay, here we go. Big roll, big roll, big roll. Whammies, no whammies. Ugh. Well, you got 2 more.
2 more.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Damn this early edition, hey? Okay.
Right?
Right?
Better
Right?
better
Why
save the
you-
rest for
This is
combat.
why we avoid combat as much as we can.
So the party starts to make its way down into the valley, and then you're sort of, you come within sight of, Solus, and the scene bears no resemblance to the lofty forest that was here only a week ago. The beautiful and legendary Valenwood trees have been hacked. They've been uprooted, toppled, burned. Only a few of the mighty trees still stand among a vast ruin of blackened branches and low, thick stumps. Now remember, a lot of people's homes were in those big trees, so they're also lying in ruin on the ground, or they've been burnt up. The elegant tree city of Solus is now only a few ramshackle huts on the ground amongst the wreckage. South of the city, strange creatures are building a tall pole fence. Apparently, they intend to fence in the ravaged community. In a central square cleared by scorched branches and smashed homes, many blackened stakes have been driven into the ground like a dark parody of some ancient temple to the true gods. Unlike Kukiri, however, Solus is not a ghost town. There are a few lights twinkling in the windows of some of the buildings, and humans and dwarves can be seen aiding in the construction of the fence. They seem to be taking orders from a number of whip-wielding dragon men. Many other bands of dragon men are visible, poking through the brush of the fallen trees, and these bands are heavily armed and seem to be organized into patrols.
Steve puts a calm, restraining hand on Benedict's shoulder.
Yes.
You should wait a minute here. I want them all dead too, but we can't take them all in one shot.
Yes, everything about tonight's session, you're going to be like, Benedict would probably step in here. Benedict would probably step in here. Fortunately, our Benedict player isn't here, so we're going to have a little bit of leeway. For whatever reason, Benedict decides not to be sort of...
Not to be Benedict?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, there are... The Draconians that you see are mostly the K-Pack Draconians that you fought in Kukiri. The ones that turn into the pool of acid. That seems to be the majority of the troops here. And there's well over 100 of them.
Whoa.
From what you can see.
Okay.
It's relatively early in the morning. There's still a lot of smoke hanging over the valley from the fires that have obviously been burning. So there's a smell to the air, obviously. The stakes in the center of the town are kind of foreboding. You have a feeling that a good number of people probably lost their lives tied to those stakes.
So we can't. There's just too many for us to affect the rescue here. Like we can't retake the town. We're looking at
You're not
dozens.
sure that you can retake. You can see citizens though moving about the town, trying to tend to some semblance of normality, but
There's just too many. It's been garrisoned, so we're not going to be able to affect anything except get a whole bunch of people and ourselves killed. So
Do we recognize anyone from where we are?
no, you guys are you're just seeing like the sort of the shapes of people moving about. You're still fairly high on the edge of the valley. You haven't moved right down into the town.
I think this might be a Tobin maneuver. Maybe take a
I'm doing the
look
same thing.
and we'll wait here.
You also
All
have Grinlead also has a cloak, right?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Grenlead would want to know if her brother was still alive, and I would want to throw on the Cloak of Invisibility and go see if we can find any of her family or loved ones.
Okay.
And if she's gonna go forward, I can go high. I can find the biggest tree, see if we can get a aerial view.
Well, you've got a pretty good aerial view right now. I mean, like you're on the high, sort of bluff of the valley looking down into Solus.
I can cast invisibility on someone. So if Tobin is going as
Steve is
well.
going to sit on Benedict.
Okay. Fair.
When Steve kind of blocks Benedict's vision, I'm just gonna reach over, grab Tobin's shoulder, squeeze, and say, "Be quiet. You got
Maybe
this."
Okay.
Invisible.
So you turn
Maybe-
Tobin invisible. Grenly,
Maybe
you
Kira and I can go down there as well. At least as a midpoint, in case they get into trouble, we can rain some cover fire for them. Like maybe
Yep,
we can sneak
sure.
down. I'm not suggesting going to the village, but I think you and I could probably sneak down to that we get to at least the mid edge, so if they get into trouble, they can fall back and we can cover. And the rest of you guys stay here. I think that's probably the best. I know in D&D they say don't split the party, but I think in this case, we're just gonna do a reconnoiter. We're not gonna fight anybody. We're just
No, that's
going
fine.
in.
So Grenlead and Tobin, are we holding hands or something so that we don't get separated, or is that not necessary? Like, are you guys doing your own agendas in the town?
I think we should stay together.
To the best of our abilities. I mean, we can't see each other, and we can't talk, right? Because invisibility. So
You can
But I
talk.
think
But I mean, you can
Just-
talk. Nobody's gonna see it. Yeah, like I agree with what Bree's saying.
okay, cool. Yeah, then we should stay. We should, stick around. I'll
Just
follow
be
those leads.
advised that they will still be able to hear you. They just can't see you.
Gotcha.
I think like this is my hometown. I should probably know the sneakiest way to get there. And like even invisible, we can sort of stick to cover. And we should stay together. And yeah, holding hands is not a bad idea.
Yeah. And need be, I got the sneaky stab.
Okay.
Okay, and Kira and Rook set up in a place that if the two of you need to run out, you'll have some bow cover.
Yeah,
Is that
exactly.
The idea? That's the idea.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the rest of the party is safely out of sight.
Yeah.
Up on the edge of the valley.
Yeah.
Okay.
Steve is going to show a sudden interest in becoming a knight. And I'm going to ask how someone might do that. And then I'm going to put my best dumb face on and just listen.
Okay.
Steve disassociates.
Benedict I'm going to say that Benedict totally falls into that groove and begins to espouse the many wonderful things about the Knights of Solamnia and the Order's codes and rules.
Just a heads up, there is a really nasty thunderstorm moving through my area, so if I disappear, that's why.
That's okay.
I think sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I think we should have like a whistle or a signal if we need help. We should have a sound, a special call, a bird whistle.
I hear
So,
yelling arugula
actually,
really loud works.
We haven't talked
Arugula.
about this, but Kender can swing that hoopak. That can be swung in such a way that it actually makes a howl, a woo. Like a,
Oh, what's
it has
that Australian thing? The Aboriginal
Yeah,
swing
it has
around.
that wide piece and the strap, and if Kender can swing that and make a.
All right,
sort of a
that's
howl
the
sound.
signal. Then we hear the Kender howl. We know.
Okay, so
Lead-
Kieran will just light the
Yeah.
place up.
Before everyone leaves, I'm also going to cast Bless just in case.
okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that lasts for how long? Do we know? Let me just check. I'm worried it doesn't last very long. That's my concern. Bless lasts for only 6 melee rounds. So it would be done well.
Yeah, I'll wait.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys head down into the town, and once you start sort of to move about the town, you can see the remains of the Inn of the Last Home. And once lodged in the branches of a valenwood tree, it's now sitting somewhat awkwardly on the ground. Now only about half of the original inn remains, but makeshift walls have been set up. Many of the buildings sprawl on the ground, most of them smashed beyond recognition, and fires smolder here and there amid the wreckage. The survivors are scratching through the rubble in search of a few former possessions. There are soft moans of pain and cries of babies on the air throughout the town. You notice that there are very few healthy men remaining in the town. Those who have survived, who are not here, you're not sure of their well-being or their whereabouts. But there is definitely a large number of younger men and women, for that matter, missing.
Terrible.
Do we recognize anyone?
No one that we've introduced in the story before. So, most of the people you're seeing look to be like widows and children. Yeah, no one that we've discussed previously.
Does there seem to be anybody leading things in a recovery effort, anything like that, outside of people?
No, the majority of the Draconians right now are over where the fences are being built. These log palisades that are being set up and driven into the ground. And there's lots of them, and you can see an encampment of tents and whatnot where the Draconians are no doubt staying. But the ruins of Solus, there's only, an occasional patrol seen moving about the wreckage and rubble.
We go by the forge and see if we can find any trace of what's happened to our family.
Yep. So the two of you make your way over that way. Your brother's large blacksmith shop sits relatively untouched. It's probably the only building in the area that, looks that way. You can see not far from his shop the battered general store, which apparently landed on its side but was righted. So it came down out of the tree, and you can tell they've just tipped it back up on the ground. The walls kind of leaning funny, and the one side very smashed and broken. But your brother's smithy was already on the ground. It had always been on the ground. So it looks relatively untouched. Just like in Kukiri, though, you guys notice like these large scorched paths. No doubt dragon's breath that has hit the ground and like run its course across. There's runs of those that are still obvious.
Are there any particular buildings that were destroyed that have any kind of concentrated fire? Anything they went for specifically that we could tell?
No, you don't see anything like that. I mean, there are the few buildings that are left in the trees are not even really livable in anymore. They're damaged, they're burnt, and most of the trees have just been incinerated in some places, and then in other places there's just sort of like a blackened husk remaining.
Is there an available window or entrance that we can use to access to see what's inside the blacksmith shop?
The blacksmith? Your brother's, there's two large doors on the front of the forge that would normally be open when he's open for business, and you notice that, it's daylight hours. He would be normally up and working by now, and those are shut. And there are a number of windows that you could use for entrance, but their shutters are pulled tight as well.
I'll lightly knock on it and then back up and see if anybody comes to the door.
Okay, so you walk up and you knock on it and wait for a moment, and there's no answer.
I try to open the door.
They are you quickly realize that they are locked.
Okay.
The big doors that open into the forge area probably have a bar down on them or something. Like there's not a keyhole or anything like that, but there is like a regular door into the smithy that you is also locked, but you could at least pick that if you chose to, Tobin.
Is there a hiding place or a place nearby we used to go when we were kids? Like, is there a potential meeting point where we might expect to look for him?
For specifically your brother?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say no. That like he's pretty Grimgram is pretty much all business, and something like that just wouldn't be his style.
Okay.
But you do know that like people in the town commonly would go down by the lake, by Crystal Mirror Lake. There's a misprint, by the way, on our map. The map that I got, it's missing an M. It should be Crystal Mirror Lake, not Crystal Ear Lake. So you know most of the town that would be a common, but also the Draconian camp is built on that side of the town, and you have a feeling they're probably using the lake for water, etc. So
I think we should keep exploring and looking around and see what we can see.
you know what? I would probably anticipate that Grenly probably has a key to the blacksmith shop if she wants to get into her brother's shop.
Okay.
I mean, you were living here, right? Prior to we talked.
Well, I
about
would
that.
think I would know how to get in, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you game, Tobin?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's find our sneakiest way in
Okay.
and see what we can see.
So the two of you get in, and everything's quiet and relatively dark inside. That doesn't bother the two of you. You both have infravision. And you start to look around, and you find your brother. He's down in the forge area, and as the two of you enter, he's like over by the. You can tell he's over by the two doors, and he's sort of peering out cracks and that. Obviously, had heard the knock. And then you hear another voice from over by the forge saying, are they gone? And then your brother's like, I don't know. I don't trust this. Something's not right.
I'd like to go in and sort of approach him.
Okay.
Do I get a look at the person he's with on the way? I want to approach him and if I can get there sort of undetected, I'd like to sort of whisper to him and talk to him. But
Okay. So as you move
I want to see
towards
if
your
I
brother,
can see who's in the room.
your infravision does show you that there is someone crouched behind the forge, like where all the coals and fire would be. There's a bit of a narrow crawl space there, and this cloaked figure is sort of knelt there, by the forge.
I'll move down around, try to check it out, get a better look.
Towards her brother or towards the other individual?
The other individual.
Okay. So let's start with Grenlead. Grenlead, you were going to move over to your brother, and what do you whisper? Or what do you say?
I'm going to move over and I'm going to whisper, I'm here, brother. Don't panic. Don't make a sound. And sort of just whisper to him.
He actually jumps and maybe even swings. He has a hammer in his hand. He sort of swings it around, not to hit, but just sort of to have it at the ready. And he's like, "What sort of magic is this? Who's there? Why do you call me brother?"
It's me, Grenlead.
With that, he sort of begins to let down his defenses, and he's like, "Grenlead, I feared the worst for you and our brother."
Is it safe to talk? Is it safe to show myself?
Of course. It's always safe to show yourself here. And with that, the figure over by the forge stands up a bit. Tobin, you've moved over, and you think he can hear you, whoever it is, because he's sort of almost tracking where you are, but not quite. And you can see that he has very slight features, and all this golden yellow hair, like almost spilling out from the hood everywhere.
I whisper, "Fear not, but the king of the gully dwarves here to." I was coming through as this attacked, and I'm invisible, seeking refuge in this only building available.
Mind the line. Mind the line.
He says, if you be a gully dwarf, especially the king of the gully dwarves, I would smell you, friend. I would smell you by now.
Tis true. Tis true. Unfortunately, I am no gully dwarf myself. That is my magnificence. I am the friend of Grindelweed.
So Grindelweed, do you turn visible at this point?
Yeah, I'll like pull back the cloak and reveal myself.
Okay. Your brother immediately embraces you, fearing he had feared the worst. The other person steps forward and takes their hood off as well, and your brother calls him Gilthanus. He's like, Gilthanus, this is my sister, and motions for him to come and meet you. I think we have a...
Greetings, Gilphinus. Any friend of my brother's is a friend of mine. Tell me, both of you, what has happened in this place? What's going on?
Dragons. There's dragons again. No, I'm not
Yes,
talking about those small ones walking around on 2 feet either. Massive red dragons in the sky. They're everywhere.
Let me tell you, brother, we have seen things that you would not believe. I know there are dragons, and our brother has found a secret even greater than this. He has found the magic of healing. And the gods have not abandoned this place.
With that mention, Gilthanus and your brother, Grimgrim, both sort of go quiet. Tobin, you hear voices from behind the forge, and 2 elven children sort of poke their heads out, and they're like, no, I want to see the Gully Dwarf King. No, I want to see him. Look out. And they're like looking out into the forge, and then a set of larger hands, obviously a mum, sort of pulls the 2 kids back and says, you know, Mr. Grimgrim said we were to stay hidden. Come on now. And she sort of pulls them back behind the forge again, and you can see that Grimgrim has created basically like a hidden, like a little tucked away room in behind the forge, and if you know, there's almost like a bit of a wooden door, and then there's a tarp pulled down over it. But the 2 kids, they've kind of pushed that aside to try to get a look at you.
I'm still invisible, right? So I go.
Yeah, they can't see
you. Don't misbehave on my account. You won't be able to see me anyway. Which I can tell you, you are safe. As long as I'm here, I will keep you safe.
So the little boy, he's like, it's a ghost. It's a ghost, just like in Darkenwood. And his slightly older sister's like, she's like, don't be ridiculous. There's no ghosts in Darkenwood. He's like, there are ghosts in Darkenwood. And you can hear them start to argue a bit as Mum pulls them right back in, and that door and that tarp sort of close shut. So Grim says to you that the Draconians now run things here, specifically taking orders from a hobgoblin by the name of Toad. He says they kill elves on sight. I've been helping Gilthanus get his people out of Solus.
How many people are you hiding here?
We have a family of 3. Gilthanus had just arrived to take them back to Qualinesti, which is an elven forest to the south of where you are. So if you leave the mountains to the south, you would run into the elven forests of Qualinesti.
Is there anything we can do to aid?
Well, we're waiting for nightfall. Then Grimgrim will help us get out if we run into any sort of guards. We need to make it to the southern road and head towards Gateway.
There are more of us nearby. I think we should go back and see how we can help tonight. Will you come with us, brother?
Oh, I can't leave, Grenlead. They check on me regularly. I'm supposed to be making spear tips and axe heads for them. I intend to complain of a mild hangover this morning, and he chuckles to himself. Haven't even fired up the forge yet.
What do you say, Tobin? Shall we come back under the cover of night and
I think we should, come back later, but we got to tell our people what's going on. We got to tell them what we know.
I think so too. Okay, so is there anything you need? Is there anything we should bring back to help you get out safely?
They say I think everything's packed to go. We just need to get them sort of beyond that fence they're building and down the road a ways, and then they should be able to make their way towards Gateway and beyond.
Let us go back and talk to the others. We can't put them at risk without
Grim
talking
says,
to them first.
and you mustn't come back with a tail on you. Like, you need to make sure that you stay hidden if you come back to the forge.
Of course.
Okay.
Well, big hug and
Yep.
bless you, brother, and here we go.
All right. So you guys make your way back out. You meet up with your two ranger friends. Rangers, as you've been sitting overwatching the town at a much closer distance than the rest of the party, you've kind of gotten a little bit of a knack for the route and the pacing of the guards. They're pretty lackadaisical. Like you would guess that if the army, that the army went south. So this is sort of like a rear position, and they're taking.
These aren't their crack guys, right? These are the dudes that you'd have left behind.
They're just not taking. They're not at the front line, so things are pretty relaxed here.
Okay. Did we see Toad?
No, you did not see Toad.
Okay. All right. We'll just wait for them to show up then, I think.
Okay, so they do eventually show up, and I'm going to say that the party is then back up.
Wait a minute.
Okay,
sorry. Quick question. What's the pacing? They're doing their patrols, right? What's the gap between the patrols showing up?
Anywhere from sort of 15 to 20 minutes.
Perfect. That's what I wanted to hear. Okay.
As I said, the majority of the force is working on that palisade wall.
Yeah.
Okay. So everyone falls back up out of the valley to sort of your spot where you can see and everybody is. And Benedict is, Steve is half asleep, and Benedict is still professing on like, and that's just for the Order of the Crown. Now let's move on to the Order of the Sword.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So here's what I think we should do, based on the information they passed on.
So first of all, do you report everything that went on?
Absolutely.
Kira, you know Gilthanus.
Okay.
Gilthanus is the son of the High Speaker in Qualinost. He is like a prince of the elves.
Oh, fun. Yeah, we definitely have to get him out.
And I will decide what you think of him either way, but when he was younger, he was a bit of a spoiled brat.
Uh-huh.
Do it.
Doesn't mean I'm going to leave him to his fate.
Your father Theron would have maybe introduced you at some point to him. Yeah.
I assume Steve showed up way later than
Great.
this and has no idea.
There's two sort of elven nobilities in Qualinos. There's Gilthanus, and he has a sister named Lorana, and then their father, the High Speaker. Either way, the boy that you knew would not be a freedom fighter in your mind.
Here's my thoughts. We got to get them out. There's a 20-minute gap. As soon as nightfall, we just do the same play. You and I go down with them. The two people are invisible, lead them out. You and I stay there for cover fire. The rest of the team stays up just in case things go wrong. Just right. This has worked really good. It's small snatch and grab, get him up. I think we should get the elf prince because he might be a spoiled brat and might not want to fight. But we get him back to his kingdom. That's a possible ally for us. Those are my thoughts. I'll leave it for the floor to discuss.
Well, me and the so talkative knight should be a little bit closer than we were today. Simply, if there is shit, we're not going to be able to get there fast, and we can't see at night anyway. Other than that, sure. That sounds like a plan. Yeah, we should do whatever that is. Sure.
Everyone's a little bloodthirsty for slavers, so
I will add to this that I'll just Rook may be concerned about old Terry. And Steve has a fair amount of family in Solus as well.
Yeah, but they're all assholes. They are not nice to me.
Fair enough.
I don't give a shit. The only one I care about is my sister, and she went away and hasn't come back.
Yeah. See, here's my thought, right? Captain Stick in the ass, of his ass. Tactically, we need an army. And we have to get, the only way we're going to get one is by getting this, potentially get one is by getting this prince to his people. If nothing else, at least we have a base of operations out of it. So I don't want to risk going to see Terry, who I'm hoping is still alive because he's far enough away from the village without, because I'd have to go through this entire village to get to him, right? And they're all by the lake, and that's where Terry would be.
And I'm not actually a king. I don't have an army. I just want to make sure we have.
I'm glad you made that clarification.
Yeah, good. I was worried there for a second because that was part of my clever plan to have the gully dwarves attack because they never expected, right?
That's right.
So I know that my relationship with my dad is not like super awesome, but knowing like if we get this prince back to like my people, would they actually help us or would they just be like dill holes about it?
No, you're quite sure that the high, I might be getting this term wrong. I'm trying to find it, but I'm pretty sure the high speaker
actually wants his kid back.
Well, the Speaker of the Suns. That is the name of the sort of the elven leader here. So the elves were once all in one place, and they belonged to a race of elves known as the Sylvanethsti, and then a group of elves sort of broke away and traveled west and settled in Qualinesti, and that's who the Speaker of the Suns is the leader of. And yeah, you don't think the Speaker of the Suns would certainly be happy to have his son back in one piece. Yeah.
I also wonder if sorry, if Grimgram is working to get elves out, are there others involved in the smuggling, and can we help organize the locals, or I don't know. I'm curious about that.
Good point.
Well, when you were at the smith shop, it was implied that Grimgram was Grimgram over the last week or so, because you guys have been gone for probably just a little more than a week. During that time, Grimgram, took in elves and befriended Gilthinus. I mean, there's probably a story there. But yeah, they've got everybody out except this last mother and her 2 children.
I am going to do one thing. I'm going to scribble a note to give. I always get your name wrong. Give me a sec. To give to Glenda
Yeah.
to Glenlead to give to her brother to give in case Terry's still alive. To say I'm okay. Hoping you're okay too. I'm doing what I got to do to make you proud.
Okay.
That way it doesn't give anything away.
So we wait until nightfall. Slowly but surely, the sun goes down. Just before nightfall, a red dragon arrives from the south, carrying
We
a
all
rider.
gain another hit point from relaxing all day.
Sure, I'll do that. You can have another hit point if you need it. And just before nightfall, this red dragon flies into the draconian camp.
Suddenly, Tobin remembers getting crushed by a dragon.
Mm-hmm. And this red dragon would be just as big as the black dragon that you fought in Zaxaroth. They're built a little different. Black dragons are a little more snaky, and red dragons are beefy, for lack of a better term. Yeah, it flies in, and you can't see it from your. Once it's into the camp and everything, it's sort of blocked by you can't see it, but it's down there. So, do we have another invisibility spell? No. So Grenlead can go in invisible, but Tobin would have to sneak.
I'm happy to sneak, and if I have to run and
just to be clear, I mean, if you guys walked right into town and just looked as casual as possible, you could pass as villagers, right? Well-armed villagers, but villagers nonetheless.
And we're all rough and tumble and dirty and slimy anyway, so we already look like we've been through a fucking attack.
But entirely up to,
I walk casually.
Okay, so the party moves up to where the Rangers were at before, correct? So they're closer. Grenlead goes invisible, and her and Tobin sneak into town. Is that? And the idea is to get the elves back to where you guys are on the edge of town.
Yep.
Just so I'm clear.
Yep.
Okay.
While holding Benedict still.
Yeah. I'm going to say that Benedict is okay with this plan so long as it's all about guarding the safe. My dogs are going crazy. About guarding the safe sort of escort of this woman and her children very nightly to guard to protect someone like that in need. So I don't think Benedict would have an issue with any of that.
I hope Steve doesn't see Toad.
Okay. So you
Rook calls dibs on Toad.
You make your way back to the blacksmith shop with Tobin. You don't draw any attention. You do see a group of Draconians, 5 in number, sort of patrolling, but they don't notice you. And you make your way back to your brother's blacksmith shop. And you're back inside, and the kids are all bundled up, and they're ready, and Mom is ready to go. Grimgrim says that he's going to create a bit of diversion. He's got like a bundle of spears made that he's taking over, and he'll sort of keep their attention if you guys can slip sort of out of town that way.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it'd be a great plan.
So
Yep.
your brother moves on his way. Gilthanus thanks you for the two of you for coming back, and says to the woman to stay close. And are you staying invisible, Grenlead? I assume. Okay. And Gilthanus and Tobin sort of lead the mum and her two kids as quietly and sneaky as possible. So your brother heads over to turn the spears in, and everything is going as planned. To the party, as they sort of lie in wait just outside of town, you have a sight line to the Inn of the Last Home, and you can see that the Draconian patrol goes into the inn, and there begins to be some kind of a disturbance inside the inn. At which point, more guards get called for, and you can see Grim sort of like they're handing over the spears, and he, like, obviously pretends to trip, and they drop all over the ground, and that keeps the attention of some of the Draconians. But a group of about 40 Draconians arrive at the inn.
Okay, how? Based on the path that they're coming from the blacksmith shop.
They're gonna have
How
to pass close to the inn, but not like right through this. But there's a bit of a heightened alertness at the moment. And so Grenlead, yourself and Tobin, you're sort of on your way back, and there's suddenly this big hubbub of activity around the Inn of the Last Home.
I think we should take advantage of the distraction to hide and get out fast.
Yeah, get him out
and
fast.
I can loop back invisibly to see what's happening and to see if my brother gets out.
Okay.
And I lean over to Kira. I go, Kira, if things go south, you get these people out of here, get the whole party out of here. I'll cause a diversion, and I'll double to the lake, and I will meet you somewhere near Quishtech if I got to go on my own.
Benedict's like hand on your shoulder. He's like, "I'm with you, Rook. I'm with you."
I go, my friend, it'll be faster if I go alone.
If anyone needs to stand their ground, you'll need a man like me.
No, I'm not standing my ground. I'm going to get him to chase me.
You may need the
and
defense of these
Rangers.
mustaches.
No, your job is to protect the children. Who will protect the children if I'm not here?
At that point, you see a familiar pony with a very fat hobgoblin ride up to the Inn of the Last Home. Now they're a good 200, 300 yards from you. Like,
they're not in bow range?
They would be maybe at the very limits of your bow range.
Oh, I want to, but I can't. Not today.
And you can see that the Draconians drag out Tika from the Inn of the Last Home into sort of the cleared area right in front of the inn, and they kick her to her knees and her hands. And Toad looks down from his pony at her. If you guys remember, Tika has like this massive red head of curls everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So it's what I'm saying is it's undeniably her. You know that's who it is.
I hate you.
I'm sorry. I shoot and then I run.
Sorry.
How close were they?
Let's say 200 yards. So that would be 600 feet.
I don't know how that translates to the range on my spell.
Okay, what is your spell range?
4 inches plus 1 inch per level.
So 4 inches is 40 feet. Just times inches by 10. Actually, outside outside those are yards. So that would be 40 yards plus 10 yards per level. So you got about a 90-yard range, I'm thinking?
And how many yards away are they?
About 200.
Okay.
Think like 2 football fields. And if Tika's hair wasn't like just this massive red curl everywhere, she would be anybody. But the people that grew up in this town definitely know Tika. Steve knows Tika.
Well,
Right? Do I see
210
Steve about to do something incredibly stupid?
I think so.
Can I tackle his ass?
I
Yes.
know so.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I've stood up and drawn my bow to like.
Yeah.
As far
So like
as
you
I
just see
can.
Kira like launch herself out of a bush from somewhere and just knock him on his ass.
So, Steve, are you okay with that story-wise, or do you want to roll to see if you can still get your arrow off?
I want to know if she can even bother to move me. Honestly.
She's your sister. She would know how to move you.
We have talked about this a few times, that you and your sister, she was. I'm going to say that yes, she can, but if you want to go, no, this arrow's going, we can make a check for that.
Oh,
I don't want a dice to determine this. In other words, I want you to decide story wise. Do you want Steve?
No, I listen. Steve listens to his sister. If she's willing to hurt herself slamming into me, it's probably important.
Okay.
And,
Sorry, just to confirm. So 12 inches would be 120 yards.
120 yards.
I'm gonna charm person.
Okay, who are you charming? Because they're
Toad.
200 yards.
Okay, as soon as we're close enough, I'm charming Toad.
Okay. Are we moving in then?
Yes,
Or
I am.
Okay. Worm has gone off on their own before,
Just
so
stay here. I'll be back.
Oh, Benedict's
Hang on.
Tobin slowly reaching down towards that day.
yeah, let's go back to Tobin and Grenlead for a second. So there's a big kerfuffle out in front of the inn, and you guys are coming behind. You don't know what it is. You're going to use this as an opportunity to make your move. Is that correct?
I am trying to be ready to defend myself. I'm ready to go. But in order to save that person, we would be exposing the people we've agreed to help. So I'm going to hold back and try to.
Yeah. Well, I'm even going to say from your angle, you don't know it's Tika.
Okay. Yeah, I just feel like we made an agreement to help these people, and to just bail on them to help somebody else doesn't make sense to Tobin.
Yeah. So you start moving the mom and her two kids through behind the inn and towards your friends. Worm, as you start to walk, like Benedict is so proud of his squire. I think he would go with you unless we're stopping Benedict as well.
I just kind of
Benedict
gesture.
has to protect the children.
Just
He
gesture
has
at
to protect
Steve
them.
and whoever else. Just keep Benedict here.
Okay, so
I
Worm,
don't want to.
you start
I know you
making
don't.
you start making your way towards them, and Toad from the top of his horse, a pony actually, and this pony is straining under this fat hobgoblin. You hear him say, "This barmaid has given us enough trouble," and with that, there's a crack of the whip and a very harsh cry as he hits Tika with the whip, and then you're sort of in range.
Charm person
So you're gonna cast Charm Person on Toad.
on Toad.
Okay, let's do this.
Oh.
I'm gonna fucking
I'm
die.
like, I'm holding Benedict by like the skullet, and I've got Steve by the freaking hair, just holding onto both of them. Like, don't be stupid.
Okay, well let's see this Charm Person check here.
Come on, magic user.
I'm gonna have to
Try
make
to
a saving
shine.
throw, but I just want to double check the spell because
I just posted it.
Okay. So this spell, I love that I get to the. This is how wonderful first edition was. I get to the wizard magic user charm person, and it basically it goes. This works the same as the druid spell.
That's helpful.
So I have to go to the druid, but you posted it. That's great.
I did. Oh, well, it does say, except as shown above, the spell is the same as the second level.
I
druid.
literally copied and pasted that spell in, and yeah, so now I'm going to find the druid version. That'll just take me a moment. Talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves.
I'm gonna fucking die.
Talk about butter. Butter.
This is tense. This is really hard as a player because I know Steve is so stupid.
This was 5e. We'd already be in there, right? We'd be like full. We'd be strapping them on, no problem at all.
Okay.
Person receives a saving throw versus spell
Yeah.
to avoid the effect with any adjustment due to the wisdom to see table 5. If the person receives damage from the caster group in the same round,
Okay,
the
and
charm is
are
cast.
you
and
ready for
additional
this? Toad has an intelligence of 8, which means if this
He's
charmed
dumber
person
than me.
lands, he's charmed for a month. So, you know, there you
Our
go.
glass cannon shines.
Wow.
So,
It's actually a really good idea.
so basically,
Not
if this works, Toad will view Worm as an ally. So here we go. Let's find.
Can Grenlead and Tobin see Worm approaching?
No, you're on the backside, like you've got the inn of the last home between the two of you. So we're gonna. I did not generate a stat block, so I just got to roll a straight d20 here. Toad is. Give me a second.
Take 2.
This works. It's gonna be awesome.
I am stressed.
Yeah.
And he's like, let me just go get something else. Hang on a second. It's fine. It's fine.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I promise. Everything's fine.
Steve and Benedict get us all killed. I'm sorry.
Pay no attention to the person behind the behind the drape.
Pay no attention. Pay no attention. Okay, so here we go. Toad is a how many hit dice? There we go. Wow.
Pay no attention to the man behind the DM screen.
He's gonna need very, very high. He's probably not passing this. So Toad, I'll let you know so you can see the roll and everything. Toad needs a 16 to save versus spell, and he has no bonus on this check at all. At all.
But you always roll so good against me.
I rolled an 18.
Damn you, Jeremy! Damn you to hell, sir!
Fuck.
So
Son of a bitch!
So you're within the 120 yards. You're just at the limit of your range. You cast the spell, and just for a moment, Toad's eyes sort of glaze over, and then he looks your direction. And he doesn't see your friends. He just sees like Worm out in the open there, and he's like, "Seize her!" And
Lightning bolt.
Okay, so you're gonna go for your lightning bolt. Your lightning
I
bolt
let
is-
go of Steve and
What is the rate? Let's
then-
just roll initiative then. Lovely.
I just let go of the boys.
Yeah, this is wonderful.
Shit.
I'm sorry, I tried,
So-
but Jeremy always
It
rolls
went
well
from like
against
up here
me,
was a beautiful
It
plan
was
to
a
down here to
beautiful
where
plan. All you had to do was
Damn.
stay in the fucking bushes.
Well,
you
it's
fell
nice
for the
to know all
trap,
of you.
guys. You fell for the trap. You knew that he was gonna do this.
You just had to leave John Wick Dog alone. You had to do.
Okay, so here
I'm gonna
comes the
blame
initiative.
Jeremy's rolling. That's it. This was a great plan, even up to then.
So the enemies win the initiative handedly.
Of course they do.
Oh, we are
Oh
so fucked.
shit!
I'm fucking dead.
So
I'm 120 yards away. I don't know if that makes a difference.
So you're 125 yards away. Unfortunately, the K-Pack, when they use their wings and run, they can move 150 yards on their turn. So they close on you. You guys can move 120 on foot. They can move 150 with their wings. So they charge, and Worm finds herself surrounded by half a dozen of these creatures. They don't attack. They have swords out, and they give you an opportunity to surrender.
Just surrender. We'll rescue you. Just surrender. We'll figure out a way to get you out.
Another group of K-Pack a couple K-Packs grab Tika. She's not getting away either. And that's all that happens on the bad guy's turn. On the opponent's turn right now. So just to be clear, if Tobin and Grenlead and Gilthanas and the kids and the mom take their regular movement this round, they will be where the party is, hidden amongst the nearby, pine trees at the very edge of Solus.
Mm-hmm.
Worm has put their hands up to surrender, but could still cast a spell on her turn if she wants. I'm not holding you to that. What is the rest of the party going to do?
Brooke's going to say, look, just hold still. Let's get these people out of here. Stay on track. We can go rescue Worm in a minute. Let's get these people out of here, because if we start fighting, those women and kids are going to die on our watch. And I look right at the knight, and your job is to protect
And
them.
also, aren't there like 40 of them?
There are
40 plus, and
total.
a dragon just landed not even like a couple of minutes ago.
You don't see the dragon. He's like on the other. But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, but if we start throwing spells, the dragon's going to be it's going to be part of the show. There's a better way to do this, and we can get them out in a minute. Let's just get the wife and get the elves out first. Then we'll go get them out, because right now they're just arrested.
I'm only going to ask this once. Does everyone in the party stay in the woods?
I'm staying. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Steve is just going to fall to his knees, gripping his sword and shield, making his hands white knuckle and crying. Straight up, openly sobbing and saying, Worm, Tika, and just, I want to help. I don't understand. I have to help them.
And
this is horrible.
Jeff is not here, but I am going to say that Benedict is equally torn, obviously angered, but has instead turned his focus on the arrival of the refugees, for lack of a better term, and has decided they get priority over Squire for a moment. You guys watch as the K-Pack pull and push Worm towards Toad, and Toad has the K-Pack hold Tika for another lash, but before the whip lands, Grimgram interjects. He puts himself in the way and grabs at Toad, trying to dismount, and there's a bit of a scuffle there. And then the K-Pack sort of... Tika does not get whipped again, but Grimgram is sort of tackled by a number of Draconians, and the three of them are then taken towards the encampment over by where the wall is being built and where the Draconian camp is.
Or that happens.
Yes.
Don't do it. Just go.
As soon as he comes in and starts to engage with Toad, like I'm around Toad now, right? I cast darkness.
Yeah, maybe about 40 feet.
Okay.
What?
Is there a way to get closer? Like,
Sure.
am I still being guided closer? Okay. As soon as I am within...
I mean, if you don't struggle, you feel like you can expedite the trip towards Toad.
Okay, I expedite the trip towards Toad.
Okay.
And as soon as I'm within 15 feet, I cast darkness.
Okay. All right. So
I'm gonna die. It's fine.
and inky black just sort of floods out. And there's a great deal of confusion. So what would you like to try to accomplish in the darkness? Because you can't see it either.
No, of course not. But I know where it is, and I know where the edges are.
Okay. So where are you running to?
Back the way I came.
Like back towards your friends?
Yeah.
Okay.
That just might work.
And if we have more rounds of combat, I'll be magic missiling the entire way behind me.
Okay. So you cast darkness. It does not, like, you break out of the edge of the darkness and you have not totally, like, 15 feet of darkness would not cover all 40 of them.
Okay.
And I'm going to say that there are...
You gotta check in there. There's something wrong.
There's sort of 3 K-Pack in the area when you dash out of the darkness. And
I just say there's something going on in there. They have Toad.
Okay. All right. What will we do here? Let's have let's have Worm roll a d20, and trying to get under our charisma, which is 13.
20. Of fucking course.
Okay.
Yeah.
They don't have. They're not having it. So we're gonna quickly make another one of these checks again. You go first. So you managed to outpace them at first. You're almost there. You're maybe half the distance. So you guys can see Worm. You're hidden. And maybe Worm gets like 60 yards from you.
Magic missile.
Go ahead. 1 charge or 2?
2.
2. So roll me 2d4 plus 2 at the nearest K-Pack as he comes in at you.
Can I at least help
8.
her?
No,
8.
you got to get the
Nice.
kids out. You can't hide. We can. I'm looking at Kira. Maybe we can do something.
So you flash 2 magic missiles off, and then they are going to they're going to attack at you. Give me a second here.
What can go wrong?
What
mean,
could go wrong? Nothing.
Rook and I can pull a Tobin special, so.
Yeah, I think Kira and I should probably, if we stay hidden in the bushes, we can release our arrows and we can drop 2 of them.
So a 3 doesn't hit. I think the
No.
19 probably does.
Yeah.
I don't know about the 13.
No.
13 doesn't hit.
No, I have a... Oh, no, I have an AC of 7, so...
Oh, yeah, so, sorry, that's not much help me telling you that. I went back into 5e mode.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Okay, so their Thaco is 16, your armor class is 7, so they needed a 9. So you're actually hit twice for a total of 12 damage.
Okay.
And I
He's
need you to
still
make
up.
2 poison saving throws, please.
$17 and a 12.
Okay, so the 12 fails,
Mm-hmm.
which means that the venom takes its... I'm going to roll 2d6. Okay, so for the next 80 rounds, you are paralyzed.
Perfect.
Yes, so you fall to the ground. However, guys, she's 60 yards from you. There are 3 K-Pack on her.
I'm going to release my arrows.
There's still
No,
a
I'm gonna
distraction.
go-
Everybody, like, the darkness spell is still in effect. So spells, she's not... You're not at 0 hit points, right? No. So Worm's spell continues to happen. Gilthinus is looking at you, saying, "You know, we have to go. Which way? Where do we go? Are there more of you?" And you can see Worm. So you have an opportunity here. You're not sure if you'll be spotted. There's probably a chance if you attack, but there is a fair bit of confusion with the darkness spell.
I look at Rook.
tell him to
Rook
go
is
grab
going, I'm
him.
going.
Sorry, what was that?
All
What was that?
I'm going to yell for Steve, and I'm going to say, "Go grab him." Speaking of Worm, because I still think it's a boy. Because
Okay.
I know that the paralyzation,
Yeah.
I know how to fix that.
Okay.
And Kira and I, why don't we cover fire, Kira him, and we can take out those draconians.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so let's have you each make your first attacks. You know one is wounded from the magic missiles. So why don't you guys roll for your first arrows, because you get 2.
Do these count as point blank? Like, are they close enough
Yes,
for point
these
blank, or are they just outside
they're
of that?
not point
Okay.
blank. They're short range.
And these guys, are they large creatures or no?
No, they're not.
Okay. So these are point blank or just normal range?
You should be firing your regular bow, but you both get +1 at short range. So make sure there's a modifier of 1 to hit and 1 to damage.
Okay.
I couldn't put that on the normal range because then I'd have to make another button for medium and long. So just make sure you give yourself an extra 1 to hit, extra 1 to damage for firing at short. So Kira's shot misses, as does Rook's.
Shit, one
take
more.
Take your second shots there, Rangers.
We may have to turn in our ranger card if we don't hit.
You might have to. Kira hit.
Oh
Kira
my
is stressed
god.
out. Kira is stressed out and missing.
No, I think that hits for Kira because...
Does it?
Well, Kira's...
Rook missed again.
What's Kira's Thaco? Let's see.
Oh, God.
Kira's Thaco is 16. They have an armor class of 4, so you need a 12. So that's a hit.
Okay, I rolled a 12.
Yeah. So go ahead. And the damage, though, Kira, is only 2.
I can see
So
that.
it hits the wounded one, and that's still not enough to kill him, unfortunately.
Well,
The
what's
three of
really
them...
unfortunate is Steve is still running
Is Steve running at them?
with a shield.
You can
making
reach.
a little bit of
You can
noise.
reach them and attack this round if you'd like to, Steve. You can clear
Seven.
60 yards in a turn outside. You can clear that.
Okay, that's great. How? Think billiard shots.
Okay. You want to try to
Yes.
bounce?
I want to try to slam one of them into another one to try
Yes.
to take 2 out at one shot at a full run.
Okay. I'll allow it if you take the one guy out. I'll allow it. Go.
Oh, yeah, hang on. I need to roll things here.
Hit your Steve shit button.
I can't. I'm not on the board here. Where am I?
Oh, okay. Yeah, you'll need a token. Hold on. I can put your token out. My apologies. I'll put everybody's token out in case they need to click on it.
Dumb shit.
I know. What have I done here? There's the Steve one.
Well, you've
Tobin.
minimized my dumb shit by
Worm.
not having.
Can you see it now?
I can, thank you.
Okay. And we're missing
No
2.
bonuses.
We need Ben Grinnick and did I get Worm? I got Worm out. Who did I not grab then? Oh, I know who I didn't. Grenlead, because she looks exactly like Kira. Okay, there we go. You guys could be twins.
I need to redo the art.
No. No,
That's
because
fine. Don't
if
do
you
it.
redo it, then we can't have fun with it. So no, don't do that. Okay, so Steve's Thaco is 14, being a 6th level fighter. Their armor class is 4, which means you need a 10. So you hit, you do 10 points of damage. That finishes him. You are going to take a bit of acid damage, but so is the draconian that you slam him into. So let me roll that. So Steve takes 8 points of acid. So does the other draconian.
Oh,
It was a bit of a messy explosion when he died of acid.
I'm kind of used to that.
And I'm going to say that the second draconian takes the 8 acid, is prone and takes the 8 acid.
Excellent.
So there are still 2 up, and I'm just going to put 2 tokens on the board here so we remember that. And one of them has had an acid bath. Okay.
Am I that worm?
So, let's see what everybody. So there was a bunch of people that didn't attack. So what are they doing? Gilthinus is looking to you, sort of like which way should he take the family. So what would you guys like to do? Let's start with maybe Grinnick. What's Grinnick doing?
Going to cast slow poison.
Okay, is there a range on that?
It's touch. That's why I'm running up to her.
Okay, so you run out and cast slow poison on Worm. And does that remove the poison that's currently there? Or do we need neutralize poison for that?
So it says, with the spells placed upon the poisoned individual, it greatly slows the effects of any venom, even causing the serious dead. It looks like... I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time reading this because
That's
it's
okay.
so small.
I'm trying to find it myself here. So just give me a moment. For Christmas, we're all getting first edition player's handbooks. When the spell is placed upon is cast upon a victim within the number of cleric experience of the cleric. 10 turns previously could be temporarily saved. When the spell does not neutralize the Okay, so if someone died of poison, you could cast that on it and they would not be dead. While this spell does not neutralize venom, it does prevent it from substantially harming the individual for the duration of magic. Thus, in the blow one.
Get the paralysis, but it doesn't look like it does. At least it won't kill you.
No, I'm gonna say that what we'll do here, because this is paralytic, we're just gonna play around with this a bit, and we're gonna say that Worm can move at half speed. So she gets she starts to get feeling back in her fingers and toes and hands and feet, and she can move at half speed. So Grinnick does that. So just so I'm just gonna move you guys into different spots on the board here. So here's the bad guys, and Worm and you guys are over here, and then everybody else is up here.
I cast sleep if I can take a action this turn or not.
Okay, you won't be able to take one this turn because you just woke up.
That's fine.
But we can totally put that out there next turn. Guiltiness is with you guys. Okay, so Tobin, what are you doing?
Well, are the kids safe at this point?
Well, they're safe from the standpoint of their. If you can see our little board there, everybody up at the top right corner there, like Guiltiness, yourself, and the Rangers. You have all the kids with you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to escort them. That was the mission we accepted, and then once I know that they're safe, I'll go back.
So do you start to lead them in any certain direction?
Make Benny do that.
Yeah. She knows the area.
Okay, so Benedict then starts taking them. Does Tobin go with them, or does he stay here with the Rangers at the tree line?
Tobin will stay in tight since I know that he's got.
Okay, Grenlead, how about you?
I think I want to stay with them until I know they've got cover.
Okay.
And then go back to the rest of the group.
Did you want to shoot your crossbow?
Yes. Can I stay invisible? Yeah, it's a cloak.
No, you can't stay invisible when you do it. When you shoot it, you'll become visible.
No.
Okay.
I think I want to stay invisible.
All right. Okay. So
sorry, guys.
So can we see the little the groups that I've separated you into there on the map? So yep. Okay. And wherever Guiltiness goes, I assume the family goes. So, all right. I think everyone has had a turn this turn now that can.
Move Benny to the crew.
So we are going into. It's now their turn. So there are 2 K-Pack Draconians. One is prone. He starts to crawl to his feet, and Steve, I will give you an attack of opportunity as he does so, if you would like.
What do you mean? If I'd like, have you met Steve?
Well, go ahead then. Do that. Do it.
All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to smash him in the face with my kite shield.
Yep.
And isn't Grenlead actually with Benedict on the map there?
No.
I thought she went with him.
I thought Grenlead said she stayed with the Rangers. She just didn't shoot.
Sorry. I wanted to stay with the family until they got.
I'm sorry.
Until I knew they had cover.
Okay, so you're with them. Okay, that's good.
Thank you.
So we split the party into 3. Always good. Yep.
Justice.
You shield smash, and that hits. So this K-Pack dies, but you take some acid. 4 more points of damage. And then this other K-Pack, who's all that's left, he's going to attack Grinnick. And
I'm just about dead.
Grinnick does I think the 17 does hit. Their Thaco is 16, and Grennick's armor class is 2, so they needed a 14. So Grinnick takes 2 points of damage. Okay. Before we start to roll another initiative here, because that does that round in. So, Benedict is leading. Guiltiness and the family away, and Grenlead is with them. The Rangers and Tobin are standing inside, like right along the bush line of the valley. Pine
Yeah,
tree,
we're shooting
pine
from
trees and whatnot.
cover.
Worm is on the ground, but can move again. So Worm is prone, but can stand up on her turn. And Grennick and Steve have a single K-Pack Draconian there. There is still a lot of commotion going on from the darkness, etc. So, I'm going to roll initiative now. You guys get to go first. So let's start with Grennick, because he's toe-to-toe with this thing. And then I'm going to go to Worm and then Steve. So, Grennick, what would you like to do?
Gonna rock this guy, but just in case, I'm gonna cast Bless, so I can give him a little extra buff.
I think Bless only works if you're out of combat, though.
Oh, it does?
Yeah. So
what about Prayer?
You can cast. No, Prayer is good to go.
Yeah, I'll do Prayer then.
Pretty sure.
Because I think I can move around with Prayer.
Prayer. Let's see here. Is that the third? That's a third level spell, is it not?
Correct. Yeah, it says it's just like Chant. With regards to bonus of +1 for friendly attacks and saving throws. The enemy, however, the prayer is uttered. The cleric can do other things, unlike Chant, where he has to continue to make a spell.
Yeah. However, it would still be your turn to cast it this turn. Like, you wouldn't get to cast it and attack.
No, that's fine.
Okay, so you cast Prayer, and Prayer affects everyone within a 60-yard radius, so it's going to catch the Rangers and the party that's up close. Worm, your turn.
I'm going to stand up.
Yep.
Like, is it literally like 5 feet from me?
No, this is not.
Okay. Well,
it's
I'm
only
going
it's only currently in melee combat with Grennick.
Okay, I'm going to like tuck myself against Steve and magic missile.
Okay, with the wand or your own spell?
With the wand.
Okay.
What? 2d4 plus 2, right?
Yep.
Yeah. 6.
Okay, so those magic missiles hit. They don't kill it, but they definitely wound it. Steve?
What were these guys using as weaponry?
Short swords.
So there's a short sword on the ground near me?
Yes, there is. There's two actually.
How far away is this thing? Sorry.
From you, maybe 10 feet. It's in hand-to-hand combat with Grennick, about 10 feet from you.
All right, get on my back, Worm.
Trying.
And, I'm going to pick up a short sword and throw it at him while still trying to stay in one spot so Worm can get on my back.
Throw it at the K-Pack?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or whatever. Yeah, whatever. They have a shield or anything on the ground, just a short sword. I'll do that.
Okay. So roll your attack. Hold on a second here. Just, you know what? Just roll a d20 and then I'm going to do the math from there.
Okay, because I do have a dagger roll here still.
Okay, roll a dagger, but you're going to have to add a -4 penalty for being unproficient. With throwing short swords.
Sure. That's my 2-hit modifier. Damage modifier as well, or just the 2?
No, just the to-hit modifier. I mean, if it
You've
hits...
got a +1 though, right?
If it,
from the prayer.
Oh, and +1 from the prayer, right?
Yeah.
So
it's -3.
-3.
Let me try this again then, ladies and gentlemen.
That's okay.
-3. Submit. Submit.
Nailed it.
Look at that.
15.
Even with the -3. Wham! And 7 points of damage finishes him. Unfortunately, Grinnick, it splashes you with acid, and you take 5 points of damage, Grinnick. And
Sorry about that, buddy.
And Steve, you then, even with half movement, you make the tree line with Worm. And Grinnick, you didn't move this turn, so we're gonna let you move back. I assume you move back as well. Are we good with?
Say no.
Are we good with that? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So we're not sticking around. We're out
All right. So, Rangers. These guys rush into the tree line with you. You can see. You see that the K-Pax have gotten a hold of both Tika and Grim outside of the darkness. And they are being dragged off towards the camp. You can also hear that Toad is calling out for, for them to pursue the one that ran. And there are definitely going to be K-Pac heading in this direction in a moment or two.
We gotta go.
Yep.
We can't wait.
You guys get them going. I'll draw them away.
Okay. So, are you just... they can't see you right now.
I know they can't see us right now.
Okay.
While they're going, I'll stay as rear guard so that I can, and I'm going to take a beeline if the...
So, if we can just...
We're this way...
I'm going to put the purple eye just outside of Solus here.
Yeah.
So, it's not on this map, but there's actually a road that goes south here. I'm going to see if I can just draw it on here quick. Can you see the blue line?
Nope.
No?
Oh, now we can.
Oh,
Can you
yeah,
see it
now I
now?
can see it. I thought it was
Okay.
a river first. Yeah, okay, I see the blue line.
There would be a road that runs there. I don't know why this map doesn't have it. Every other map I have does, but this map was better in every other way except that. So, Gilthanus had hoped to take them south to Gateway. But where would you guys like to go? Are you going to retreat back up into the mountain pass, or are you going to retreat sort of along the edge of the valley south?
I think we should go south. It's the fastest way.
Yeah, they can catch up to us pretty quick. I couldn't do a Tobin maneuver if I wanted to.
Yeah. So south.
So the party moves south, and then does Rook go south as well? He's just rear guard?
I'm going to do rear guard, but I kind of want to... I'm not sure what the forest looks like right now.
Well, just imagine that, so the valley itself is filled with Valenwood trees for the most part, and
Yep.
a lot of them have been burned away.
Yep.
And then, as you start to head out of the valley, you get sort of this pine forest along the lower slopes of the mountains here, all around Solus and Crystalmere Lake.
What?
So you guys are in the pine. You're sort of in the tree line, in amongst the pine trees, moving south.
So if they're going to go south, I'll kind of stay south with them, and second they start to get kind of close, I'll make myself seen, fire off a couple of arrows, and head west, just so I can then circle back.
Okay.
Just enough to give them a false trail and drag them this way.
Yeah.
If there's a tracker there, they're going to see our tracks, but the whole thing is, oh no, they're over here. That's the plan.
How well does Steve know these forests?
Good. Steve knows them well.
Yeah.
Very well. Okay. Well, you guys run for about 30 minutes, and although you can hear a lot of commotion back towards Solus, you don't spot anyone making any sort of progress following you. That being said, a very dark shape flies overhead.
A dragon.
Yes. You don't think it spotted you, but it didn't go right over top of you, but it is up circling, and you're obviously being looked for. So what would the party like to do now? You're about a half hour out of Solus.
Stay in the trees and stop moving. They can't see us if we're in the trees.
Pray? I've heard the gods are back.
We know at least one goddess. We have a cleric.
Feel really
Do a
bad
little
about my
grin.
decision making.
Okay. Well,
It was a beautiful plan had it worked. Had it worked, it would have been epic.
Yeah.
And you got out without a scratch.
it
I
did work.
took 12 damage, but sure.
It did work. A couple people took a couple wounds for it, but it still worked.
On
Okay.
that front,
So
I'm gonna
does the
beg
party
off
stop
Steve.
moving then and try to just hide?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to tell everyone to do. Get underneath the tree and hide. Stay still and just stay as hug the tree. They won't be able to see you from above.
Can I have both the rangers make their tracking check? And I'm going to use
Yep.
that as their ability to keep the party hidden.
Okay.
Remember,
where's my
lower,
track?
remember that lower is better on your track check. If you can't
It's a
find your
D100,
tracking
right?
button, it's a D100. Yep. Okay.
Oh, Rook sucks. Now I roll high. Couldn't hit anything, but come on, Kira, it's up to you, baby. You can do it. You can do it.
Kira got a
52.
52. Rook got a 70. Okay. The dragon is basically blocking your route to the river. It's circling in that direction, like down this way.
Can we make a distraction? Can we cause like a big fire? Something that might pull its attention away so we can sneak past?
There's nothing here to burn, is there? Well, I guess there's the trees. That's a good idea.
So it's not able to see you. You don't think at this range, but definitely if you keep moving south, you're going to go under it.
How bad are those mountains?
Like to go up into?
Yeah, to like, because that would be the next logical step. Because if we
Yeah.
go west, we got to go through water. If we go south, we're going to run into a dragon. North, we run back into troops. Our only option is east through the mountains and then south.
So Kira,
I agree.
I mean, Kira, you led your friends up over the mountains before. You think you can do it again?
Yeah. Okay, that's what I suggest then, because everybody is hurt, and we've got people with us now that we didn't have before. So
Yep.
the faster we get out of here, the better.
Kira leads, I'll do rear guard.
I would like to hide on Steve's back. So as
That's
long as
Worms-
it's-
Worms there already.
That's where I
can't see
am.
me.
I'm gonna say
Sorry,
say
that's
this.
one seat.
For those of you that have benefited using Steve as a mount in the past, you notice right now that although Steve is probably as strong as a horse, Steve is bleeding very badly. And you feel like he can't possibly climb these mountains, at least not the way Kira's leading you, and carry someone. So like maybe when you go over to him, Tobin, you realize that like Steve isn't looking so good.
He's
So,
still gonna
buddy.
volunteer to carry Worm.
And
'Cause he's freaking dumb.
Worm, you're still like even though the spell has helped you a bit, your joints are still stiff. Like you're still only moving at half speed at this point.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try to take them up and over the mountains, Kira.
Yep.
Rook is still running his rear guard.
Yep.
Okay, Kira, give me a D100 check for your tracking. Just Kira, please.
And we can't see Grin lead. She's here somewhere.
Grenlead is invisible. She's never come visible, so yeah.
Got a 46.
Okay, one moment. I gotta.
Way.
Okay. Kira has most of the party up and over a ledge. I'm going to say that currently in the rear guard we have Rook, and I'm going to say Grinnick is back with him. Everybody up is sort of over a ledge when the two of you spot 5 K-Pack Draconians. They have not seen you yet, but they are incredibly close, less than 100 yards.
Just grab everybody and like shove them so that they're
Yeah.
down.
You haven't even noticed yet, Kira.
Especially my idiot brother.
Kira, you're leading everybody, and everybody's sort of following you. Just imagine like a snake of people moving up through these mountains, through these cracks, climbing over, and you've gotten everybody over this one ledge, so you can't even see these guys. But the two last people in the party, I'm going to say, are Rook and Grinnick, and the two of you see 5 of them. They're pretty close. And you know that they're capable, like they could get up these cliffs no problem because of their wings. They can't fly, but they sort of like push off the ground and glide, and that's how they get their increased movement.
How hurt are you, Granick?
Rook, I'm good with hit points. I'm gonna say, hey Rook, I gotta get back to the party. I gotta get these guys healed. They gotta get them safe. They're hurting.
Get them up. I'll lead these guys away.
Okay, so Grinick disappears over the ridge.
Oh no.
And Rook, are you shooting one of them?
I'm going to do a beeline. If they're coming straight at us, I'm going to go over this way like 50 meters, and then I'm going to shoot an arrow at one of them.
Okay.
And then run.
Yep. Give me an
Just
attack
enough
roll.
so they know where the arrows come from.
Give me an attack roll. So, Grinick, do you let the rest of the party know that you've got Draconians behind and Rook's leading them off? Yep. Okay. And everybody allows that to happen? Because I know this party has...
It's like when I get up there, could I throw my heals?
You can throw a heal
Prior
when you
to the
get up
battle?
over the edge. Absolutely. Who are you going to heal?
I wanted to throw a heal on Steve and a heal on Worm.
Okay, which one first?
My last two. So I'm going to throw it on Steve first since I'm right next to
so
him.
let's do that. Roll. You give me the D8 roll. That arrow connects Rook. It does not kill it, but they're
Doesn't have to be.
definitely giving chase now.
Yeah, now I'm just going to take off the other side and try to find some spot to hide.
Okay.
Give it to Steve.
Steve gets 7.
Give the other one to Steve.
Okay. Here comes a second.
Oh.
Another 3. And that's it for the heals.
You guys can now see. I'm going to say that Benedict
Thank
is actually
you.
carrying both children as well. His sword is sheathed, his shield is over his shoulders, and he's like carrying one and pushing the other up the cliffs, so to speak, as you guys climb. There's still lots of tree. You're not above the tree line, so there's still lots of cover. And Kira's roll was decent. So, okay, so let's do this then. Kira, you keep leading them up into the mountains. Rook, you're going to try to hide?
I'm going to run as fast as I can and then just try to find, like, some place where I can hide, like hide behind something to make them come and find me so I can try to backstab somebody.
Okay.
Like, I want to break their line of sight so they've got to come in the bush to find me.
I'm gonna follow him. I feel like now that I've got that dagger, I could be pretty helpful in that situation. If
Are you going to backtrack, Tobin?
Yeah, I'll go back with them.
Rook came back for you once. I think that's well within Tobin's character. Okay, so the rest of the party is going to keep going?
Yeah, get them out of here.
Kira, give me one last D100 roll, please. Well, that could have gone better. Okay.
Wow.
That's okay. That's okay. All right. So, Tobin, you go back to help Rook. Rook, you duck into somewhere where you can hide and you're going to ambush somebody. Is that correct? Like they're moving as a group. Like they're all. If you ambush one, you're going to have all 5 on you.
Well, if they're going to move it as a group, then I'll just let them run past me. That's just the whole thing, is to get them off of our trail, to slow them down.
Okay, so just a second here. Rook.
I love how we make the DM's job so easy by keeping together, following normal patterns, not doing anything sketchy.
It's because we're out and about. If we were inside a dungeon, it'd be different.
I like the non-linear. I mean, it's. I appreciate you, Jeremy.
What's that?
Oh, me.
I appreciate you.
I don't mind this at all. Okay, so here's the deal. Rangers have a 3 in 6 chance of surprising their enemy. So I would like you to roll a d6, and on a 1 to 3, they're going to miss you, and on a 4 to 6, they're going to find you.
Yes, they missed me. Thank friggin' God.
So
finally.
they overshoot you and keep moving along. Kira,
I'm just gonna.
You sort of crest another rock. You pull yourself up. You turn around. You throw your hand back down. Benedict throws one kid up to you, and then Benedict grabs the rock and starts to pull up. And that's when you realize that the group has been spotted moving up the mountainside, and there is a red blip in the sky moving towards you. You can already hear the pound of its wings.
Great. All right. Kira's gonna panic, and then she's gonna like sort of gently throw the kid like to the side, and then start pulling people up as fast as she can. Be like, we gotta go now.
Benedict sees the dragon approaching, of course, and
I will punch him in the face if I have to.
You can tell that he's like getting ready to make his stand.
We need you to help get these kids to safety.
Benedict, take care of the kids. I got this, and I'm gonna drink this potion.
Okay. Glug, 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 glug. Benedict continues with Kira then and the kids. One by one, you people are passing Steve with potion going down his gullet. And the dragon is making a beeline for your point on the mountain.
Right here, you big ugly worm. Right here. I am tender and beefy.
Okay.
Run, you.
Let's do this again. So we have Tobin is looking for Rook, and Rook is hidden. We have everybody except Steve. Steve is going to make a stand on the mountain, and everybody else keeps moving.
Yup.
I'm so sorry.
Okay. So you guys scurry up the mountains, and you know you're away from Steve a bit. Steve, this massive red form like starts to bank. You can see it has a rider, and it is going to make a pass at you. What's the plan here, my man?
Haunting? Oh wait, there's rocks, right?
There's absolutely rocks.
Yeah, and I'm a big strong idiot. I'm gonna throw rocks.
I've heard that about
and
you.
Taunt. And I'm going to say rude and obnoxious things. Your mother was a tadpole. You can't hurt me if you wanted to. Who's riding you? A little baby? And I'm gonna chuck a rock as hard as I can.
You're gonna chuck a rock to get it to come at you?
Oh yeah.
Go ahead and roll that. Go ahead and roll that.
I want everyone else to get away.
Okay, go ahead and roll that.
It's just a straight D20, or you want me to use my dagger, -4, or what do you want?
No, give me your dagger.
You got it. I rolled a 7. That's not going to be good enough to hit a dragon.
No. Well, it maybe hits it.
Really, it's just trying to get its attention. I don't think I can kill it with a rock.
It just sort of goes poink. Okay. Give me
Everybody else has to get away.
Yeah. Everybody else is running for their lives over the mountains, and Steve takes his stand. Drinks.
If the dragon gets close enough, you know he's going to jump on it, right? Everyone's aware of this stupidity?
I'm wondering about movement. I'm invisible.
Yes.
And I would love to lead the dragon away from our fleeing people.
Yes.
How long does it take? Like, I don't understand the invisibility and movement.
So your invisibility.
I would like to go run somewhere and reveal myself and make a ruckus and then become invisible again and go hide.
You can totally do that. So you just have to take when it's your turn, you take your action to become uninvisible again. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, Steve. The
Keep
dragon
hiding from the dragon.
The dragon makes a sweep over top of you, and stalls right above you. It gives one big boom with its wings, and then it breathes fire on you, my man.
No.
I have a potion of fire resistance in my belly.
Yes. So I need you to make a save versus breath weapon, and because you have a potion of fire resistance, the saving throw is made at +4.
Just straight forward, don't write the plus.
Yeah, just straight forward. Don't put the plus in, or it'll mess up the roll.
Here it is.
So that is a success, I believe. I don't know why it's giving red.
Yeah, it is. It is. Breath weapons for us is 13.
So that's half damage. So as we all know, dragons breathe their hit points. So this red dragon does has 60 hit points. So you take 60 fire damage. Halved is 30. In addition, your potion reduces damage by 2 for each dice that's used. But because dragons doesn't they're not using hit dice, then I'm gonna say that it's gonna reduce 2 per hit dice. So it's a 10 hit dice creature, so I'm gonna take 20 off of that. So that takes it to 40 and then half. So the fire does 20 damage to you, my man.
Perfect. I'm still alive.
So those of you climbing the mountain, you hear the roar. You hear, first of all, the pounding of wings against the side of the mountain. You definitely hear the fire come out just as a roar. There's smoke that rises off from behind you. Tobin and Rook, you guys below, hear Steve taunting this fucking dragon, and then you hear it cook the side of the mountain.
And then you hear, is that all you got, you little worm? Bring it.
Steve, what would Steve like to do?
I barely felt that. How far away is it?
Like 10 feet.
Well, I believe it's time for some parkour up the rock face to get on the dragon.
Okay.
So I'm going to try to run up the biggest rock that's close and do a nice little jump off using all of my mass and power to try to grab the dragon's leg or wing or the arm of the stupid idiot on top.
Okay.
I want on the dragon so I can try to put my sword through it and not going to get breath weaponed again.
I'm not even going to ask you to roll. You run and jump, and it's got a saddle for its rider. So like you get a hold of the saddle, maybe a buckle, and you're on that. Are you attacking it, or are you just grabbing hold of it?
Well, do I have extra attack?
Yeah, sure.
Sure, just because this is awesome. Great. Well, can I attack both things or just the dragon?
You can attack one or the other, the dragon or the rider.
Okay, so I believe I'm going to impale its wing and then just drag it down the wing.
Okay.
I'm going to just try to cut the entire wing in half.
Okay, roll to hit.
I'm sorry, guys. If he's going to die, he's going to die gloriously.
It's amazing.
Is this Steve shit or a longsword attack?
Longsword.
Here we go. 16.
16.
16 points of damage.
So Steve's Thaco is 14. The dragon's armor class is -1. So instead of going down with Thaco, a negative armor class would go up. So Steve would need a 15 to hit. He rolled a 16. It's a large creature, so we did 21 points of damage to the dragon.
With an attempt to cripple it.
Okay. We're just going to pause there for a minute. Grenlead, we were talking about causing a distraction. So are you going to try to now get the dragon's attention?
So if the dragon's
currently everybody in the top right corner is running with the family and that over the mountains. So
yeah, so they're taken care of.
Okay.
But I'm concerned that the group's broken up. I'm still invisible. But if the dragon's close enough to the surface that Steve can climb on top of him.
Let's be clear. Steve jumped off a cliff.
He jumped off a cliff. Okay.
He cleared the distance, grabbed the saddle, and just took his sword to the dragon's wing.
Well, I was thinking I sort of wanted to distract the dragon, but Steve kind of has his full attention right now. I don't think I'm gonna be able to distract him.
I would strongly agree with that.
Yeah. Do I know where the other members of our party are? I think
No.
Rook and Kira are elsewhere.
Rook and Tobin are somewhere down the
Tobin,
mountain.
sorry. Somewhere down the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to run back on the road, the path a little ways, and shoot my crossbow at the dragon's eye.
Okay, so I'm going to give you, because you're invisible, I'm going to give you basically a backstab. So I'm going to give you a +4 to hit. So when you roll to hit with your crossbow and it gives you the opportunity to put in a modifier, make sure you put in a number 4. Not +4, just number 4 for the hit modifier.
Prayer still up, or is that done with?
Sorry?
Is prayer still up, or is that done with? I forgot how long it takes.
Prayer would be done from the time that you... Okay. Because it was down in the town.
Okay.
Okay, Grenlead, that quarrel bounces off the dragon's scales. Grenlead came back. Does anybody else come back, or do you guys continue to the party that's up in the top right? So we got Worm, we got Kira, Gilthanis, Benedict, and Grinnick. Do you guys just continue to move?
Yup.
Okay. Down the mountain, Rook, the group is not that far past you when this dragon shit goes on. They do a full 180 and they head that direction. They pass past your hidden spot again. Tobin,
perfect. That's what I wanted to hear. I've got a plan.
Okay, Tobin, they're going to run into you, so I need you to make a hide check, please. Or they're going to spot you. Or if you want to be seen, that's fine too.
Well, I think I'm going to make a hide check.
Okay, let's make a hide check.
Then if I have to attack, I get that little bit of...
And that is less than your hide in shadows. So, yes, you duck in behind a pine tree or something, and they don't see you. So, what are the two of you going to do? They're going to pass the two of you this turn.
I'm going to let them pass me. They're looking at the dragon, running towards the dragon because they see Steve.
They're sort of like, imagine they're climbing a very steep hill and they're sort of looking up and they can see Steve and the dragon whirling above.
And I imagine they got their weapons out, right? Because they're going to come running the dragon.
Sure.
Good. I want to fire arrows at the dragon, but I want to do it from behind those guys. So when the arrows, and then I'm going to duck behind cover again. So when the arrows hit, the dragon looks to see where they're coming from. They'll see those guys. That's the plan. Okay. I'm hoping that I don't know how smart
Tobin,
dragons are.
Are you attacking at all, or are you letting them pass?
I'm going to let them pass and see how this plays out.
All right, so go ahead and make your attacks then on the dragon, Rook.
Now, how far is the dragon from you? So I know
you're at medium range.
Medium range? Okay. So there's no bonuses.
No, it's a straight longbow shot.
Come on. Oh, when I nailed it with a 20.
Yeah, dirty 20, got it. Second arrow.
Come on, buddy, do good ones. And a 19, nailed it again.
Both hit. So
now I duck back.
A total of 8 damage.
And I immediately go back behind in my hiding spot and hope that they think it came from those guys.
Yeah. So dragons need to sustain half their hit points to stay airborne. So Steve, you feel like you've almost crippled it. However, it begins to fly away from the mountainside and gain altitude. And it's going to try to claw you, get you in its claw. So we're getting 2 claw attacks here on Steve. And what we'll say is that if both claws hit, I'm going to say it's got you. But if both claws hit, we'll make an opposed strength check to see what happens next, okay?
I'm not, okay. I'm not sure how it would grab me, but...
Well, you're on its chest. You're on the buckles on its saddle.
Okay.
What's going to do?
Okay, that's not how I envisioned it. That sounds much smarter.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yep. I will if I can find the damn dragon stat block.
Oh, he gets a -12 to hit me. Because reasons.
I think that's true.
I've heard similar
Yeah.
stories.
Part of this under Steve shit.
He's got a special Steve feat.
Yeah, Steve bullshit feet. I'm gonna call it plot armor for lack of a better word.
I love that term though. Great.
Okay, so claw attacks. It has a THAC of 10. What's Steve's armor class?
I believe it is 1.
1, so he needs a 9.
I will double check, but I think
That is a miss.
Good. Because Steve's not going to take too many of those.
Oh my god, he missed both times.
He missed both times.
Oh, thank God.
A 2 and a 6. Holy cow. So he is literally doing... Those of you on the mountain can see this. Grenlead, you probably have a gorgeous sight of this because you went back. So it is essentially like, if you can imagine, it's just going in circles. It is rising in altitude, and you can see it trying to grab at Steve, but like Steve's like hiding in its armpit, sort of like can't quite get to him. And the rider who's on top is absolutely useless because he's on the top side of the dragon and Steve is on the bottom side of the dragon, so they can't even see one another. And Rook, even though you shot the arrows, like the dragon is so infuriated trying to get Steve off, it hasn't even noticed maybe that has been shot. And the Draconians continue to make their way up. Grenlead, you can see a group of Draconians coming up the cliffs that your group just climbed now. They don't see you, but you spot them first. Okay? So I'm gonna just we're gonna roll initiative here. And this will decide who goes for this round.
Damn it!
So they get to go first. So the dragon continues to claw at Steve. And you maybe even hear it growling like, "Get off of me, you little speck!" And we got nothing. Oh, that's a hit. And that's a hit. So you're not going to take any damage, but it pulls you off and sort of holds you here. And it then flattens out its climb and starts diving back towards the valley of with Sol and Solus. And the 5 that were scrambling up the cliff see the dragon go, and they just sort of turn and head that way as well on foot.
Have I just been captured?
Now to you guys. So
I've been captured.
Kira, if you continue to flee with the group this round, you will be over sort of the first hump of the mountain and probably on your way to safety.
Do it.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't have much choice. She's got people with her that can't fight.
Okay. Grinnick, do you follow? I'm going to say Benedict follows. Gilthanas follows. Worm?
Benedict's carrying me, so.
Okay. Grenlead, what do you do? You can hit the dragon before it leaves range.
I think I want to give these guys a chance to get away. And I think I'm going to shoot another
The dragon?
take a shot with my crossbow at the dragon.
Okay, you do not have a +4 this time around. You just have a regular crossbow attack. Your Thaco is 14. The dragon's armor class is -1, so you need a 15 to hit him.
Yep.
Can Rook hit him
Do
too?
it.
Absolutely.
Hey, a 1.
Okay, well that crossbow bolt doesn't hit. Rook?
Yeah, Rook's going to
I
give
don't
it a
think
go.
it's funny.
From his hiding spot, just hopefully those guys don't see it, and I'm going to try. Whereabouts are they in relation to me? Are they past me again? Would they see the arrow?
No, they would not see the arrow.
And I'm going to take a shot at the dragon. Oh, that one bounced.
That did
Try
not
again.
hit.
That did. And it did 5 damage because it's a large creature.
Steve, the wound on its wing, you see an arrow pass through that same wound, and there is sort of a tear of flesh, and the wing sort of loses its tenacity, and this thing immediately starts to dive towards the ground. And Tobin, what would you like to do?
You're muted, buddy.
So he's going towards the ground. I'm gonna just take off. Well, I guess I just take off. I got those guys there. I want to start moving towards Steve the best I can, without attracting the other.
Okay.
So
you're going to start moving. You're going to try to move towards the dragon's crash site if there is going to be a dragon crash site.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
There's gonna be.
Yeah. Tobin doesn't like to leave. You know, he always doesn't like to leave people behind. So.
All right.
There's gonna.
So. With the dragon's movement, it's drifted out of range now. There is indeed a bit of a crash. Steve, I would like you to roll 2d6 damage from the crash. This will be going. This will be going.
There's no way I can
to
get
you.
up around on the backside before he crashes. Because I would prefer not to be under a falling dragon. I'm dumb, but I'm not that dumb.
Okay, here's what we'll do. Let's go to Steve here.
Let's go to Steve.
Okay. If you can make a bend bars check for me successfully, I'll reduce the damage to 1d6.
Oh, good. So I still might.
So on your character sheet, besides strength, there should be a bend bars button. Roll that. If that is successful, you will have broken the grasp of the dragon.
Was it supposed to be under that?
It was supposed to be under that. So
that was not it, then.
Okay, give me 2d6 damage then, Steve.
I don't want to.
Do you want me to roll it?
I don't want anyone to roll it. Hang on. Here we go.
Okay, let's do it.
No.
Steve goes unconscious.
Steve goes dead, maybe. When do you die in this version?
-10.
Okay. Well, I'm at -6.
Okay.
Under the dragon.
Rook, what do you do?
I'm going to try to go after where the crash site is.
The dragon has disappeared beyond the tree line. Like, it's down somewhere in the direction of Solus.
I'm going back after Stevie.
Okay, so I'm going to say that you, for just simplicity's sake and my sanity, you and Tobin meet up en route together.
Yep, we're going to go after him.
However, you can't just make a straight run for them without alerting those 5 foot soldiers.
Oh, then we'll sneak it. I think we'll have to sneak and try and get them.
I'm just saying you're not going in a flat out run. So
no,
there
we're sneaking.
Grenlead, do you go down the hill after Steve, or do you go over the mountains with your friends? Or give me another alternative.
I think I want the Draconians. I want to throw them off the trail of the group. So
they're actually chasing after the dragons.
Yeah, they're chasing after
the dragons.
Oh, the dragons.
You've lost sight of them in the trees below. They were headed after that dragon that was going down. And I'm going to say that Grenlead, from her sight, she maybe even saw the dragon. Like, he or she clipped some trees and definitely hit the ground hard.
And I can see where that is. How...
You can't see the dragon anymore. It's in amongst the trees below, but it's like right down in the valley. It would take you a little bit of time to get there, but you could certainly head for the crash site.
I think I need to make No, would I go to the crash site? No, I think I'd join up with the group. I really do. I think I'd join back up and make sure that
so
the main party was safe.
You push over the mountain and meet up with Kira.
Cloak back on. Yep, I think that's what I do.
So, Kira and that group, I'm going to say Kira's group versus Rook's group are 2 rangers. So Kira, you get your group up sort of into a place where they can rest up in this area where the purple eye is.
Yeah, just someplace like if we can find a cave, great. If not, find someplace
Maybe
that's
not a cave, but
undercover
like
or
an
something.
outcropping or something, yeah. And you can put down and, make a fire and sort of get people settled in. We are going to take a
Way
break.
to go, Kira.
I am not
That's
going to make it
awesome.
all the way to 10 without using the washroom, so we are going to take a quick break and do all that. And then when we come back, I think what we'll do is we're gonna let the group that goes down in the valley, Tobin and Rook, we're gonna let you hang for a little bit. When we come back, we're gonna role play what's going on up in the mountains, and then maybe we'll just finish off the night with the crash site. Okay? But for now, we're gonna go on a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Awesome.
Okay, so the party Kira finds a safe place for everyone to rest. It's under a bit of an overhang, and you're sheltered from the weather. The winds are cold because it's autumn and you're up in the mountains, and so it's a little chilly. So you have no choice really but to start a fire. But Kira's got you in such a place that the light of the fire should not be really visible. Okay. You would guess, Kira, that to the east you probably have another day's worth of travel, and you can make your way out of the mountains and back down into the plains if you so choose, and then could always head south from there towards Quolinesti or whatever your choices might be. As you sit around the fire, though, Benedict is obviously keeping watch. The mother and the kids are sort of bundled up together and keeping warm, and Gilthanes is looking at you guys, and it's obvious he's made some sort of he maybe remembers Kira, but he's just having a hard. When someone looks at you and they're like, that person knows me, but they don't know where I'm from. Yeah, that's the feeling you have, that he's recognized you, but he doesn't know from where. Worm, what are we doing at the camp?
Being in shell shock and not really saying anything.
Okay. Grenlead, what are you guys doing? What are our dwarves doing?
To reach into my pack and take out my last 2 sweet rolls that I was saving for me and Steve. Now I'm going to give it to the kids.
Okay.
Because they look pretty scared, and I thought maybe that would help them out.
Okay, so you go over and comfort them a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Grenlead, what are you doing?
Well, I think I should make myself visible and try to be as friendly as I can. And again, I'm concerned about the kids, and I tell them, there's no such things as ghosts. We're doing our best to keep you safe.
Okay.
Going to channel my inner Tobin and try to be goofy and make songs and stuff for him.
All right. Worm, you've got feeling back in your fingertips and toes now. That poison is worn off. Kira?
She's gonna make sure that everybody eats first, and then sit down sort of next to, how do you say, Gilthanes?
Yep, Gilthanes.
Sit down next to him. You don't know who I am, do you?
He's like, I think I do, but I can't place you.
I'm the daughter of Theron.
Okay, so he's about to pay you a compliment, and then you're like, daughter of Theron. He's like, Theron. Yes, I do remember you now. Half-elf, though. Father wouldn't, approve. He has sort of... He's stuck in the old ways. I think we were just young when we met.
Very, if I remember.
You guided the group up the mountain very adeptly.
Thank you. I've had lots of practice.
Do you think you can get them the rest of the way?
Depends on where we're going, but yes.
He says, hang on a second, I've got some box text to read here to you. Let's just break the immersion here. He says, is it true? And he points at Grinnick. He goes, he's a cleric.
It's true.
He says, it's unbelievable. It's been so long since anyone's been able to channel that kind of power. He says, your friends, they're from Solus?
And my brother.
They didn't kill all those people. They took them south.
Do you know where?
If I had to guess, that they've probably taken them to Pax Tharkus.
What is that?
So Pax Tharkus is a fortress that sits in the far south in the mountains.
Oh, by Slamori?
Yeah. So Slamori is the elven name for it. Pax Tharkus sits on the borderlands between Qualinesti and the Dwarven Kingdom of Thorbarden. And it was built as in mutual friendship between the dwarves and elves of old. There are a great deal of iron mines there. And Gilthanas believes that most likely the dragon armies are utilizing those mines for the iron. So he anticipates that people are being taken there to work. He says long ago in the near forgotten age of dreams, Kith Cannon led the elves to Qualinesti. And you've heard stories of Kith Cannon from your father. And as Gilthanas starts to tell this tale, the little kids kind of listen in as well. He says, the Second Dragon War of Sylvanesti had brought these Western elves great fame back in their ancient home, but Sylvanos, king of the Sylvanesti, felt uneasy at the rise of power of the Qualinesti elves. Yet when the Kinslayer War erupted with the human kingdoms of Aragoth, this was before the Cataclysm, so the elves of Qualinesti were fighting with the humans. The war was long and bloody, leaving scars that no treaty could heal. Thus, when borders were agreed upon, the bloodshed halted. The elves of the west felt removed from their kin and wanted no part of the ancient home of Sylvanesti. Sylvanesti is far to the east. When the scribing of the sword sheath scroll, many problems of the world were laid to rest, and the king of Aragoth gave the western elves a magical wooded place of great beauty and natural harmony, and the land that would become to be known as Qualinesti. Sad was Sylvanos, the king, when his eldest son, Kith Cannon, chose to lead the western elves to their new home. Deep was the split between the two elven kingdoms, and Sylvanesti continued to follow the lofty ancient ways removed from the other people of Krynn, while Kithcanon and the Qualinesti made peace, traded and intermarried with their neighbors. If you want an easy comparison here, Qualinesti would be wood elves and Sylvanesti would be high elves. That's sort of an easy way to draw the line. Perhaps the greatest accomplishment of a great life was Kithcanon's signing of a permanent peace with the mountain dwarves of Thorbarden. Sharing their knowledge and skill, the two people built the mighty fortress Pax Tharkus at the border of their two lands. For many centuries, Pax Tharkus was a bastion of peace and safety, a symbol of the cooperation among folk of different backgrounds and race. Even now, as we hear that the fortress is in the hands of the dragon men, I cannot believe that it has fallen to storm. Only the darkest treachery from within the walls would have led to this sorry outcome. Our dwarves in the party are hill dwarves. The mountain dwarves that Gilthanis is speaking of, when the cataclysm came and the world sort of began to come to ruin, the hill dwarves retreated to the mountains of Thorbarden and asked the mountain dwarves to enter their kingdoms for safety, and you were locked out. The hill dwarves were locked out. The mountain dwarves decided not to let their brethren in. So there is some hard feelings between hill dwarves and mountain dwarves in that regard. That it would have been during that time that your family would have maybe settled in Solus to the north. As well, during Grennick's search for the old gods, you tried to find Thorbarden again, but the doors of Thorbarden have been lost. Nobody knows where they are anymore. The cataclysm has changed the mountain landscape, and wherever those dwarven halls are, their entrance has moved. You suspect. Gilthanis looks to the rest of you and says, I don't know that you'll be welcome to stay in Qualinesti, as our people are preparing to leave the capital as well. But they'll most likely head west, southwest actually, deeper into the Qualinesti woods, as the dragon armies have taken over the majority of the cities and roads to the south. So if we look at the map here, Gateway is sort of a city like Solus, a town like Solus. Chances are it's probably fallen to the dragon armies if they've moved south. Kute has probably fallen as well. A little bit of assumptions here. There's only one place to cross the White Rage River, and it is right here where I'm pinging the map. Otherwise, you're going to have to build a raft or swim across it. Newports is called Newports because it was once an inland town, but then when the cataclysm came, the waters rushed in, and that there's now a sea there. And Qualinost on your map, that's the Qualinesti capital. And then if you scroll down further, you'll see where Pax Tharkus is, and that's probably where friends and family have been taken to mine for the dragon armies. Gilthanis asks, so Gilthanis asks the party, what's to happen next? Will you continue south with me, or are you going to go back for your friends?
Plan is to take you back to your people and ask for assistance.
I would welcome that. I would welcome your help. I certainly don't want to be. I think with all of your assistance, we could probably make it to Qualinost. But I would understand if you want to go back for your friends.
Will your people help us?
In what way? What do you need?
We need an army.
I am not sure that the Qualinesti have the strength to defeat the dragon armies that have come south.
So you'll run.
Well, I don't know, to be honest. The world's been turned upside down, and I really don't know where I stand anymore.
How far is it from where we are to Qualinos?
That would probably take about a week's journey on foot.
I suggest that you think about your position and where you stand. And remember that we are helping you to get home. My brother is out there right now. I will do what I have to.
He takes that in and does a hard swallow, like a gulp. And let's go back down the hill now to Rook and Tobin. So you guys make sure that you keep your distance from that foot patrol. You don't know where they are, but you're staying hidden as you move up. And then up ahead, you find sort of not really a clearing, but sort of like a trail through the trees where this dragon came down hard.
I'm going full bore.
So you run out, and there's no dragon there. And then in the dirt ahead of you, in this place where the dragon obviously hit and rolled, you see a broken kite shield.
No Steve?
No Steve.
I fall on my knees in front of the kite shield, and I scream in rage at the gods and say, "I don't know what you want." And then that's it.
Okay, Rook, what do you do? You're muted, my man.
Rook's gonna stay hidden, like stay in the bushes, and I'm gonna look to see where did that dragon go. If it didn't fly, it had to walk, and I want to see which direction it went.
Okay.
So I think it's gonna be pretty easy to track.
Yeah. Give me a tracking check.
Sure, you got it. Where is my tracker? Here it is. Surprise, surprise. Tracking, there it is.
Nice.
So I think I can follow it.
Yeah. So you follow sort of the crash site. Where the dragon came to rest at the end, you find a broken pine tree, like a massive spear, just covered in the dragon's blood.
Okay, good. So it's hurt really bad.
And you see a trail very clearly of where it's walking back to Solus by the looks of it, but it's leaving a hell of a blood trail. And
good.
You can see that there is its rider looks to have been dragging something.
A bloody big something?
A bloody
Bump
big
mess.
something. Yes.
Okay, I'm following it because it looks like it's going to be Steve, and I kind of whispered it to him, "Come on, get a grip of yourself, moron. Let's go."
Sorry, Tobin's not in a good way, and he follows.
Almost want to do one of these.
So if you want to follow, it leaves the tree line at this point and follows that road north to Solus.
I'll follow the road but
Like we're
from
about,
the bushes.
We're about here. We're about 1 hex out of Solus at this point.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to step up the pace so I can get it before it gets to town, but try to get to, but stay in the trees. I'm not gonna be running down like an idiot, but
Okay.
see if I can get up to it.
So you and Tobin continue to move forward, and then you see its body lying out on the road. The dragon.
The dragon's dead.
It's not moving.
I'm gonna drop an arrow into it just to make damn sure. Is there a way before I do this? Anybody else around? I mean, a dead dragon in the middle of the road. There might be a rider or something. Where's the rider?
Yeah, you look around for the rider. You guys can't see him.
I'm gonna put an arrow into the dragon just to make sure it's dead. It's not playing possum.
Watching his back while he does it.
Okay.
Like I'm staying in the trees, so from the tree line.
You draw an arrow and it fires out and hits the dragon in the ass.
Yeah.
The thing doesn't move.
Okay, then let's go see if we can find. Normally, I'd want to strip the dragon down to see whether it has anything of value, but I think we're just gonna go try to find Tobin. Not Tobin, sorry. To find the guy that's dragging the big boy.
Okay. Yeah. So it's not long before you're within sight of Solus, and you can see you sort of just arrive as this rider is met by the downed rider dragging Steve's body is met by a group of hobgoblins and other draconian forces from Solus come out to, and you can see that they are none too happy that the dragon is not with him. And you can see that Steve is hoisted up and his body, you're not sure if he's alive, is carried back in, like past that wooden battlement and into the draconian camp.
Okay, we're gonna have to sneak in and do a prison break. So,
yeah.
I guess I'm gonna, instead of going into it, I'm gonna try to go back to where my house was, where old Terry was, see if he's still available. Because we're gonna have to do a prison break.
Okay, so you're gonna have to make a pretty big sweep around the town to do that.
Yep.
Okay. So,
I'm cool with that.
And Tobin, are you going with him?
Yeah, I'm following his lead.
Okay, so the two of you make a very wide berth of the town, and you manage to make it back to where old Terry's place is, and there is just burnt cinders.
Okay, I'm gonna look. Is there anywhere I can find a body?
No, there's no signs of a body.
All right. Then we're gonna try to make it like sneak back into town. Then I guess coming from this side, because I would assume everyone's looking that way. We're over here now, so we're gonna come in this way. So.
Okay. You reach a point where, like, you come at the town from the other side. The draconian camp is there, and you reach a point where, if Rook continues, he's probably going to get seen.
Okay, I'll stop there.
You can see the camp is bustling, but you can also make out that there are a number of very large caged wagons in the center of the camp.
Would I see big glowing red hair in one of them? From the girl?
You can just see the tops of the cages.
All right. Is there a way if I went, say, north around the town and came back in? Like, I'm okay Cloverleaf in this whole thing where I keep...
Yeah.
Till I find a way in, an egress in.
You don't think that... You do not possess the skills to infiltrate the tent camp without being seen.
What about the wee fella?
Well,
yeah.
The
king of the Gully Dwarfs.
Yes,
okay.
The king of the Gully Dwarfs will attempt to sneak in.
Do you want to make a hide check for me then?
Yeah. Character sheet fell off. 1 second here. Almost have it.
That's okay. So Tobin, you move in amongst the tents, and Rook, I'm going to say that you're back. You lose sight of him at some point. He gets so far in. At the center of the camp, there is in fact half a dozen caged wagons, and you can see that there's all kinds of people in the wagons already sleeping. Like, you can just see their bodies; they're lying prone.
Okay. I'm gonna start moving towards any position where I think Steven might be. He's my main objective right now. getting to him.
Okay. So just as you're about to do that, to go looking for him, you see his body being dragged behind a strained pony. A fat hobgoblin riding atop it, and they drag him across to the back cage. At which point you see a woman inside the wagon. She sort of gets up from her position and moves to the back. She can't really stand up fully, so she's kind of moving on her knees, and she grabs the bars. And you hear her gasp as she sees Steve's body in recognition of who he is. You think it's Tika?
I think it's Tika.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to have to. What do you guys think? You think I should go back and tell him, or do you think I should move forward?
Up to you, buddy.
I'm gonna move forward, see if I can find a way to find out where they're going, and see if I can find a way to maybe unlock a door,
Okay.
pick some locks,
Okay.
something like that.
As you try to figure out a way to get closer, you hear the hobgoblin yell out to open to a bunch of nearby guards to draw their bows and point them at the cages. There's about 30 of them, and they draw bows and they sort of have it pointed. At which point they unlock everything, and it takes like 2, almost 3 draconians to get Steve's massive body into the back of the caged wagon. But you also notice, like, as they sort of put his body in, they're a little timid around Tika. Like, she's obviously furious, and they make sure they keep their distance from him. So they kind of roll him in and then back right out, and then the cage shuts. At which point, from behind, you hear.
I look behind me.
You look behind you, and that's when you see a little gully dwarf. And he has an oversized helmet on, and he's trying to look as official as possible. And he points at your crown. And he says, "You're from the High Bulb."
I am the High Bulb.
He wrinkles his nose. He goes, "You ain't no gully dwarf.
Well,
You ain't no High Bulb."
Well, I'm not a gully dwarf. I'm your king. And one of the reasons I'm your king is because I know what soap is. So why don't you run along and find some, and while you're doing it, bring me a hot drink. I got business to attend to. Don't wrinkle your nose at me. I'll have you flogged.
He looks at you sideways. And he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about. That's my boss out there." And he points to the fat hobgoblin out in the clearing. "I could scream right now. They come get you. Throw you in that cage. What you think of that?"
I'm going to stab him in the face with the dagger.
Okay.
What are you doing? Oh no!